all those who are joining us for today's live Nithyananda Yoga session. Let's all settle down. Come to a meditative space with your hands in front of your heart center in the Namaskara Mudra. As we begin the Nithyananda Yoga today with the Sadguru Vandanam, invoking Swamiji's presence to be with us as we begin the Nithyananda Yoga. Nithyanandam Paramasukhadam Kevalam Jnanamurtim Dvandvatitam Gagana Sadrisham Tattvamasyaadilaksham Ekam Nityam Vimalamachalam Sarvadhi Sakshibhutam Bhavatitam Trigunarahitam Sadgurum Tam Namami. Next is the chanting of the Shivamula Mantra Japa, invoking Paramashiva's presence to connect to that cosmic energy, that cosmic geometry as we begin the Nithyananda Yoga. Now we will be chanting the Shivamula Mantra Japa internally 11 times. Please chant it within your inner space. We will chant it out loud such that each of you can follow along. Om Ham Haum Shivaya Namaha. 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 The next offering is the Tattva Achamanam, the ritualistic cleansing of the body and mind to become a pure vessel for Paramashiva's energy. For the Tattva Achamanam, please ensure you have your Panchapatram and Uddharani, the cup and spoon, filled with fresh water. Take an Uddharani of water in your hand, place your right hand in the Gokarna Mudra, bending the index finger and slightly cupping your palm. Take the Uddharani of water, put it in the center of your palm. Sip the water 3 times through the base of your palm with the mantra Swadha. Om Atma Tattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Om Vidya Tattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Om Shiva Tattvam Shodhayami Swadha. Now please wash your hand with the water from the Panchapatram. With the base of the right hand thumb, wipe your upper and lower lip twice from right to left along with the mantra Om Ham Hridayaya Namaha. Wash your hand. With the tips of the index, middle and ring finger joined together, touch above your upper lip, below your lower lip. Wash your hand. With the tip of the right hand, thumb and index finger joined together, touch your right nostril, left nostril. With the tip of the right hand, thumb and ring finger joined together, touch your right eye, right ear and left ear. Wash your hand. With the base of the right hand, thumb and little finger, touch your navel center, right chest and left chest. With all the fingers of your right hand joined together, touch the top of your head, right shoulder, left shoulder and your heart center. Now we'll be doing the Sankalpa, creating our conscious intention. Take a moment to close your eyes and visualize intensely, clasping both your palms together, and place this on top of your right thigh as we chant the Sankalpa mantra. Om ममोपात समस्त दुरितक्षयद्वारा भगवत् श्री नित्यानंद परम शिव प्रीत्यर्थम श्री नित्यानंदेश्वरी परम शिव शक्ति समेत श्री नित्यानंदेश्वर परम शिव प्रीत्यर्थम च अद्य पूर्वोक्त एवं गुण विशेषेण विशिष्टायाम् अस्यां शुभतिथौ पूर्ण आरोग्ययुक्त दृढगात्र यौगिक शरीर सिद्ध्यर्थं परमशिवशक्त्याविष्करणार्थं नित्यानंद योगाभ्यासं करिष्ये. Now take an udharani of water, wash off your hand. Om apaupasprisya. And place your Panchapatram and Udharani far away from you, such that as we do the Nityananda Yoga, it is not in the way. And let us begin now with the warm-up. We're going to be starting with warming up our body. So come up to a standing position. Lift your right leg up and let's start to rotate our ankle in a clockwise motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Relax. Moving on to the left leg. Lift your left leg up, rotate in the clockwise motion. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Hands to your knees. Now let's rotate our knees. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. The opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Bring your hands to your hips. Now let's rotate our hips. Push out and down. 1. Spread your legs apart. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now the opposite direction. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Spread your legs further apart and lean forward and down, trying to bring your hands towards the ground in front of you. If you can, try to push your elbows towards the ground as well, getting a deeper stretch. Breathe deeply. Walk your hands towards your right leg, trying to bring your forehead towards your right knee to get a deeper stretch on the right leg. And over towards the left leg. Bring your forehead towards your left knee. And up. Next, we're going to be twisting. Bring your hands in front of your chest. And we're going to be now twisting from right to left, getting a deep stretch for our shoulders and chest. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Shoulders now. Bring your hands to your shoulders. Push your elbows in a forward motion, trying to touch your elbows together in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Opposite direction now. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we're going to rotate our neck. So go and move your neck now slowly in a round circular motion, getting it nicely stretched. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Opposite direction. Be careful to do it slowly, not to hurt yourself. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Now we'll be doing the skeleton dance, which is where we're going to be opening out all the muscles and joints of our body. So take a moment to close your eyes and start to visualize yourself as a skeleton. Visualize yourself as pure bones. Your body consists of nothing but bones. And with that visualization, shake your whole body intensely. Move all the joints, all the muscles, every aspect of your entire body.
पांडुरंग जय विठ्ठले 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 पांडुरंग जय विठ्ठले 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 नित्य नारायण नित्यानंद नित्य नारायण नित्यानंद नित्य नारायण नित्यानंद नित्य नारायण नित्यानंदा नित्यानंदा पांडुरंग जय विठ्ठले 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 पांडुरंग जय विठ्ठले 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 नित्य नारायण नित्यानंद नित्य नारायण नित्यानंद नित्य नारायण नित्यानंद नित्य नारायण.
Slowly. And let's settle down to begin the Nithyananda Yoga today. As we begin, a quick disclaimer for all those here that during this yoga session, anything taught is only for general wellness and educational purposes. It is not to be taken for or used as a replacement for medical advice. If you have any pre-existing medical issues, health conditions, diseases, illnesses, or injuries, please do consult with your medical health professional before doing the Nithyananda Yoga and follow their advice at all times. If during the yoga you happen to feel tired, dizzy, or weak, immediately please stop, take rest, and only continue if you have recovered. And at all times, please be in listening with your body. Each person's body works differently, and it's your responsibility to be in listening to stay within your body's limits and capacities to prevent any injury or harm. So now with that, let us enter into the sequence today. We're going to be starting with the Dvithiya Vinyasa Krama, which starts with the first asana is Savriti Asana. The Savitri Asana, Savitri pose, which comes from the Yoga Asana Mala Sachitra. This asana helps to open your hips asymmetrically and promotes meditative position, enhancing spinal alignment, supporting upward gaze, focus, and culminating an observed awareness. So let's do this asana now. You're going to be keeping your right foot pressed onto your perineum and keep your left foot on top of the right. Place your hands on your two knees sitting upright. Gaze towards your third eye. Do the Samana Kumbhaka. Inhale. Feel the flames raising up your spine, clenching your perineum in the Moola Bandha. With the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize Goddess Savitri, radiant and steadfast, illuminating awareness with the brilliance of the sun in Savitri Asana. जीमनौ पगमोड़ी पगथली की माहिली कोरे परिमूल द्वार टेकी बैसे डाव पग की एडियो निस्थान काठिराशे. The next asana is Vajrasana Chatur, which is the fourth thunderbolt pose, which comes from the Yogananda Rasayanam. In this asana helps to deepen your hip flexibility, enhance meditative posture, promote spinal alignment, and support breath awareness. This asana is done in the exact same position you're going to be in. Here you're going to keep your gaze fixed on your nose, sucking your stomach in and up in the Uddiyana Bandha as you visualize yourself as the indestructible weapon of Indra, the Vajra. Do the Samana Kumbhaka with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Vajrasana Chatur. सव्येन कन्दं प्रपीड्य चान्यं पादं तुलिङ्गोपरि निक्षिपेच्च वजं सदा प्राणजये च सिद्धं ग्रीवातनामस्तसमस्तमस्तनम्. Next is Siddhasana Trini, the third perfect pose. This comes from the Gheranda Samhita. This asana helps to intensify your hip opening with a throat compression, enhancing your breath control and support your nervous system calming. Now, in the same, keeping your feet in the same position, you're going to be gazing towards your third eye with the Samana Kumbhaka, clenching your perineum, sucking in your stomach, bringing your chin to the chest in the Mahamudra Bandha. Do the Samana Kumbhaka japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you visualize yourself as a Siddha, a yoga master, fully perfected in Siddhasana 2. योनिस्थानकमधिमूलघाति सम्पीड्य गुल्फेतरं मेढोपर्यथा सविधात चिबुकं कृत्वा हरिस्थापितं स्थाणुसंयमितेन्द्रियोचलः सा पश्यन् वरानन्तर मे मोक्षविधायते फलकर सिद्धासन प्रोष्यते. The next asana is Brahmasana, the Brahma pose. This comes from Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya. The benefit is to promote hip flexibility, enhance meditative stability, strengthen postural alignment, and support your breath control. Now for this asana, keep your legs in the same position. Keep your hands cupped together on the top of your right knee. As you gaze towards your nose, do the Samana Kumbhaka. Continuing the Mahamudra Bandha, clench your perineum, suck in your stomach, bring your chin to the chest. With the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualize Lord Brahma in your inner space, seated upon the lotus of creation. Brahmasana. Padmam Brahmam Statha Saidham Swastikam Vajramasanam Baddhakonam Badhraprishtam Moolabandham Tathaivacha. Slowly relax. Next is Muktasana Dve, Liberation Pose 2. This asana comes from the Yoga Pradipika of Svatma Rama. Here, your legs continue to remain in the same position. This asana helps to develop your inner listening and enhance the meditative awareness. So continue to keep your legs in the same position with your hands on your knees. In this asana, you're going to gaze forward, doing the Mula Bandha, the Samana Kumbhaka, the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself liberated by Swamiji. And one unique component is you're going to be listening intensely for a sound in your right ear in Muktasana 2. मुक्तासने स्थितो योगी मुद्रां सन्धाय शाम्भवी शृणुया दक्षिणे कर्णे नादमन्तस्तमेकधीः. Next asana is Valmikasana Dve, the anthill pose 2, which comes from the Yoga Asana Mala Sachitra. In this asana helps you to open your hips deeply, enhances meditative hand positioning, and promotes a spiritual alignment. In this asana, your hands come to the Bindu Mudra, so touch your index finger and thumb, place it on top of your knees. Do the Samana Kumbhaka, clenching your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze towards your third eye with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you visualize yourself sitting so still and unmoving that an anthill begins to form around you. In Valmikasana 2. बैसे करी डावा पग की पगथली एड़ी बारिला फणी ऋषि मोड़ी जीमनी पाशती लगावे जीमना पगा की एड़ी बालिनाई लगावे. Next asana is Ghora Kanjali asana. So this asana comes from the Yoga Pradipika of Jaitarama. The benefit of the asana is to strengthen your core and enhance your hip flexibility, promoting balance, stability, and supporting breath control, developing the concentrated mental attention. So now, we're going to enter into the Ghora Kanjali asana. You're going to come to a squatting position and clasp your hands in the Parashamudra under your knees in front of your navel center. Do the Jivachala Kumbhaka. Inhale your prana, your breath, then using the power of your mind, forcibly direct it through all the limbs of your body, moving the breath upward and downward. This is taught by Paramashiva himself. Clench your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Do the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing Gorakhnata within your inner space in Ghora Kanjali asana. प्रथम ही उभो होय बहुरो नीचोय पुनि होवे दो कर दो जंघ मधि नीके विधि पहुँचे. The next asana is Kanchyasana, the specially chosen pose. In this asana comes from the Kapalakurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati. It helps to intensify your core engagement and hip opening, enhancing balance, coordination, and promoting your breath control. So let's do this asana now. So now for this asana, you're going to be coming onto a squatting position again, but this time you're going to be clasping your hands with your knees. Keep your knees wide apart, lean slightly forward, and clasp your hands behind your back. This is the Kanchyasana. You're going to be bringing your hands from underneath your thighs to hold your hands behind your back. Here, do the Parashmudra, clasping your hands together, Jivachala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself in the specially chosen posture, embodying deliberate focus and refined awareness in Kanchyasana. ऊरुमध्याथस्थौ निवेश्य नितम्बं धृत्वा पादतलाभ्यां भूमिम् अवष्टभ्य तिष्ठेत् काञ्च्यासनं भवति. The next asana is Bhairu asana, the fearsome pose. This asana comes from the Yoga Asana Mala Sachitra. Helps to intensify hip opening, strengthening your core stability and balance coordination. So now for this asana, you're going to be squatting deeply with your soles joined and heels tucked in and your arms reaching behind and clasping behind the sacrum, Keep your spine upright, chest lifted, gaze directed towards your navel center with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, doing the Mula Bandha and the Jiva Chala Kumbhaka. Clasp your hands behind your back in the Parashumudra. Visualize Lord Kala Bhairava within your inner space in Bhairuvasana. दोऊ पगा की तल्यांकी माहिरी कौर मिलाई फना पानी उकड़ माड़ वैसे. The next asana is Varahasana, the boar pose. This comes from the Yoga Asana Mala Sachitra. Helps to deepen your hip flexibility and strengthen the leg muscles, enhancing your balance stability. This asana is done where you squat low with your feet together, knees placed below the perineum with a slight thigh gap. Raise your arms overhead, pressing your palms together behind your back in the Namaskara Mudra. Gaze towards your nose. Do the Jivachala Kumbhaka, clenching your perineum in the Mula Bandha with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as Varaha, the boar incarnation of Lord Vishnu in Varahasana. पगथली की माहिली कोर मिलाई फना पानी उकड़ बैसे एडी मूल द्वार नीचे राशे जंघ छाती छिद्र अंगुल छियार यंत्र. The next asana is Prishthasana, the back pose. This asana comes from the Kapalakurantaka's Hatha Abhyasa Paddhati and supports building leg strength and enhancing hip flexibility, promoting balance coordination, and supporting the breath control and inner awareness. This asana is done where you first you can stand with your heels pressed together. Bring your hands in the Prana Mudra with the index finger and middle finger around the thumbs, toes of your feet, and bend your knees to a 90-degree angle. Balancing here with the Jivachala Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualizing your spine as a resilient bridge, arcing gracefully with strength and flexibility in the Prishthasana. अथ उत्थानानासनानि पार्श्वद्वयः सम्मील्य स्थित्वा नितम्बं जानुप्रदेशे आनीय तिष्ठेत् पृष्ठासनं भवति. The next asana is Bakasana, the crane pose. This asana comes also from Kapalakurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati, which helps to strengthen your arms and core muscles, enhancing balance coordination and promoting breath awareness, increasing your mental determination. In this asana, we're going to do the Jivachala Kumbhaka, the Mula Bandha, with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. You're going to be placing your palms on the ground, bringing your knees to the back of your hands and lifting off the ground. Visualize yourself as a crow in Bakasana. हस्ताभ्याम अवनिमवष्टभ्य जानुद्वयं नाभौ सम्मील्य जङ्घोरणि संस्थाप्य तिष्ठेत् बकासनं भवति. Next asana is Shushtanga Kapalyasana, the well-protected skull pose. This asana comes from the Yoga Asana Mala Sachitra. Helps to invert your circulation and strengthen core stability, enhancing balance coordination. This asana, you will be continuing the Jivachala Kumbhaka Mula Bandha. Gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing your head as a fortress, resilient and invulnerable, safeguarding awareness and consciousness. So now, let's do the Shushtanga Kapalyasana. You're going to be coming into a headstand position with your head flat on the ground, palms beside your head, and lifting yourself off the ground in Shashtanga Kapalayasana. Bringing your legs into the Padmasana position. Asana ko guna arch kapala archo hoi. And relax. The next asana is Guptasana, the hidden pose. This comes from the Gheranda Samhita. It helps to open your hips deeply and promotes grounding connection, enhancing spinal flexibility. Now, come to sit on your knees. You're going to be sitting on your knees. Bring your hands on top of your knees. Do the Jivachala Kumbhaka, clenching your perineum in the Moola Bandha. As you gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualize yourself seated in the secret seat with Paramashiva and the Guru in Guptasana. जानोर्वोरन्तरे पादौ कृत्वा पादौ च गोपयेत् पादोपरि च संस्थाप्य गुदं गुप्तासनं विदुः. Now from here, we're going to be entering into a standing position, which is the Dhruvasana. From Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati. This asana helps to build balance and enhance coordination, strengthening your core and leg muscles. So now you're going to be coming up to a standing position, holding on to your right toe with your fingers in the Prana Mudra with the index and middle finger, stretching your leg out towards the side. Here, clench your perineum in the Moola Bandha, do the Sahaja Kumbhaka, deep breathing in and out. And with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualize yourself as a radiant North Pole star emitting brilliance and rotate in the opposite direction of your leg in Dhruvasana. एकेन हस्तेन दण्डरूपस्य एकस्य पादास्याग्रं धृत्वा इतरपादतलं भूमौ निधाय त्वरया भ्रमणं कर्तव्यं ध्रुवासनं भवति. Now relax. We're going to be repeating the Dhruvasana on the other side. The pole star pose. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati. Helps to build a dynamic balance and enhance your coordination. So now continue to stand. This time lift up your left leg with your left hand in the Prana Mudra and rotate towards the right direction. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka, Moola Bandha, with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as a radiant North Pole star in Dhruvasana. एकेन हस्तेन दण्डरूपस्य एकस्य पादास्याग्रं धृत्वा इतरपादतलं भूमौ निधाय त्वरया भ्रमणं कर्तव्यं ध्रुवासनं भवति. The next asana is Trivikramasana. The 3 steps pose from Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati. Now in this asana, helps to enhance extreme balance and hip flexibility and to strengthen your core stability. Here you're going to be bringing one leg behind your neck. You can start with your right. Bring your right leg behind your neck. And from there you're going to be sitting and standing up alternatively. If you can't bring it behind your head, you can bring it above your shoulder. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka, Moola Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you visualize Lord Vishnu residing in your heart, serene and radiant in Trivikramasana, the 3 steps pose. ग्रीवायां पादं संस्थाप्य स्थातव्यम् उत्थातव्यं त्रिविक्रमासनं भवति. From here, we're entering into Trivikramasana on the other side. 3 steps pose repeated from Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati that helps to combine extreme balance with functional movement and enhances your hip flexibility. So now lifting the left leg this time above the head, You can get up, stand, and sit alternatively as you do the Mula Bandha, the Sahaja Kumbhaka, the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing Lord Vishnu in your inner space with the three steps pose, which is Trivikramasana. ग्रीवायां पादं संस्थाप्य स्थातव्यम् उत्थातव्यं त्रिविक्रमासनं भवति. The next is the Vrikshasana Dve, the tree pose 2. So now, this asana comes from Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya. Helps to strengthen your arms and core muscles, enhancing spinal extension, promoting breath control, and develop a confident mental presence. So Vrikshasana 2 is where you're going to be bringing your hands onto the ground and kicking your legs up and off the ground into a handstand position. This is the Vrikshasana 2. Visualize yourself as a tree in this asana. As you clench your perineum in the Mula Bandha, do the Sahaja Kumbhaka and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. In Vrikshasana 2, सप्तचक्रक्षालनाय वृक्षासनविशेषकान् जननेन्द्रियदार्ढ्याय कोणभेदान् समभ्यसेत्. The next asana is Shubhu Asana, Shiva pose. In this asana comes from the Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya and builds core strength, enhancing balance coordination, strengthening your arms and shoulders. So this is the exact same asana as previously. In the handstand position, you're just going to be switching your gaze towards your third eye as you clench your perineum in the Mula Bandha, doing the Sahaja Kumbhaka with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing Tejas, the inner fire, radiating life energy and streaming into your third eye in Shibhu Asana. दो पग जोड़ी माही गुलफ मिलाई उभव होय दाई हाथ जोड़ी संपुट करे आकाश दिशि सुधो पसारे. Relax now as we enter into Matsyasana Dve, the fish pose 2. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati and helps to develop a dynamic core strength, coordination, enhancing balance, stability, and promoting breath control. Now in Matsyasana 2, you're going to come into a plank position. You're going to now be lowering your body down and up in a push-up motion as you clench your perineum in the Mula Bandha, continuing the Sahaja Kumbhaka. With the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualize yourself as a fish, fluid and alert in Matsyasana Dve. Nibjam Shayanam Kurparao Parshvabhagayam Urdhvam Kritya Hasatalaabhyam Bhumim Avashtam Bhavaram Varam Uddanam Kuryat Matsyasanam Bhavati. The next asana is Sarpasana Dve, the serpent pose 2. In this asana, it comes from the Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati and helps to support spinal flexibility, promoting gentle movement and strengthening your back muscles. So for this asana, you're going to come onto your stomach, keep your palms beside the hips and lift your chest upward and glide your head and torso side to side in Sarpasana. Gaze towards your forward, doing the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as a serpent, supple and alert in Sarpasana. Nibjam Shayanam Kritva Hastau Nitambam Samsthapya Padau Dighikritya Sammilyam Urasagantavyam Sarpasanam bhavati. Next asana is Niralambhanasana, the unsupported pose. This asana comes from the Hatha Ratnavali by Srinivasa Bhatta. Promotes spinal alignment, enhancing breath awareness, and strengthens your postural muscles. Now you're going to be bringing your hands in the Padma Mudra with the little fingers and thumbs together. Resting your chin into your hands with your elbow on the ground. Keep your toes together. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. As you visualize yourself suspended in perfect balance, unsupported yet utterly stable in Niralambanasana. कराभ्यां पङ्कजं कृत्वा तिष्ठेत् कूर्परया सुधीः मुखमुन्नमनुच्चैर्निरालम्बनमासनम्. Next asana is Chatrasana, the umbrella pose. Now, here you're going to be, this asana comes from Kapalakurantaka's Hatha Abhyasa Paddhati and helps to intensify your spinal extension, enhancing your chest opening and strengthening your back muscles. Over here, bring your hands to the ground, push your upper body upwards and bend your toes, trying to bring it towards your head. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha. Visualize Swamiji. Visualize yourself as an unshakable pillar, as a umbrella for the master in at the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Chatrasana. अर्ध्यासनवस्थित्वा हस्ततलाभ्यां भूमिम् अवष्टभ्यं नुया छत्रासनं भवति. The next asana is Vajrasana, the Thunderbolt pose 3, Vajrasana Trini, from Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya. This asana promotes spinal release, enhancing hip flexibility and supporting nervous system calming. So come onto your knees, stretch your hands forward, relax your forehead to the ground, doing the Sahaja Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and gazing towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you visualize yourself in Vajrasana. Visualize yourself as the thunderbolt. इदानीं गर्भिणीनां योगाभ्यासो यथा लघु सुखप्रसवलाभाय प्रोच्यते प्राक्तने पथि. Slowly raise up. The next asana is Meshasana, the ram pose, from Kapalakurantaka's Hatha Abhyasa Paddhati. In this asana, helps to strengthen the arms, enhancing dynamic coordination and promoting core stability. You're going to be placing your palms onto the ground, lifting your hips up high in the Gajasana position. From here, do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Baddha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Alternate hitting your hands on the ground, visualizing yourself as a strong and fearless ram in Meshasana. Gajasana samsthitau ekaikam bahum bhumau tadayet Meshasanam bhavati. The next asana is Ajasana, the goat pose, also from Kapalakurantaka's Hatha Abhyasa Paddhati, which helps to build your arm strength, enhancing spinal flexibility and promoting balance coordination. Now for Ajasana, you're going to bring your hands to the ground. It's a dynamic movement. You're going to be kicking your legs off the ground, trying to lower your forehead towards the ground and then release, coming back down. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as timeless, unborn and eternal in Ajasana. Gajasana संस्थितौ पादद्वयम् अन्तराळे कृत्या मस्तकेन भूमिं स्पृशेत् अजासनं भवति. Next asana is Dhanantarasana, remover of diseases pose, from the Yoga Asana Mala Sachitra. This asana helps to open your hips deeply, promoting a grounding connection and enhancing your ankle flexibility. So sit on your knees, keep your hands on your knees, Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka. Inhale, making the sound of an ocean by constricting your throat. As you exhale, do the Mula Bandha, clenching your perineum. Gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualizing yourself as Dhanvantri, the divine healer, emerging from the ocean of nectar in Dhanantarasana. पूरबभिधि परिपघाता की काकसी स्यौ फणा शरा मोड़ी पगा किया गुली अग्रिमेढ़ु लगावे. Next asana is Angamottanam, the limb extension pose. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hatha Abhyasa Paddhati, helping to promote the stretch in all the limbs of the body and a dynamic movement. And to stretch the different muscles in the body. Now here you're going to be clasping your hands behind your back and rotating your whole body, going forward, bringing your forehead down and back up, doing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself with extended limbs in Angamottanam. हस्तयोरङ्गुलीर्बद्ध्वा हस्तयोर्मध्यात् सर्वामङ्गां निष्कासयित्वा तिष्ठेत् अङ्गमोत्तटनम्. The next asana is Garudasana Chatvari, the eagle pose 4. This asana comes from the Gheranda Samhita, which helps to open your hips deeply and enhances your spinal alignment, promoting the grounding stability. In this asana, you're going to be pointing your ankles outwards and sitting in between your heels, hands on the knees. Continue the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha. Gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Garudasana Chatvari. Visualize yourself as Lord Garuda, majestic and swift. जङ्घोरुभ्यां धरां पीड्य स्थिर्कायो द्विजानुना जानुपरिकरद्वन्द्व गरुडासनमुच्यते. Next asana is Ananda Mandirasana, the temple of bliss pose. This asana comes from the Rudrayamala Tantra and helps to intensify your hip opening, enhancing the pelvic flexibility. Now you're going to be sitting on the ground with your heels apart, knees spread wide apart. Hold on to your ankles with their respective hands. Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha. Gaze towards your third eye with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself immersed in the blissful space of a temple in Ananda Mandirasana. अथ वक्ष्ये वीरनाथ आनन्दमन्दिरासनं यत्कृत्वा अमरो धीरो भवत्येवेह साधकः हस्तयुग्मं पाददेशे पादयुग्मं प्रदापयेत्. From here entering into Mandukasana Dve, frog pose 2. This asana comes from the Hataratnavali by Srinivasa Bhatta. Helps to deepen your hip flexibility and enhance pelvic opening and improving your spinal alignment. So now you're going to be sitting on your heels, your knees apart. Reach back with your hands to hold the sides of your feet. Keep your spine tall. Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka. Manduki Mudra, tongue pointed backwards inside your mouth. Suck your stomach in and up in the Uddiyana Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a frog in Mandukasana Dve. पृष्ठं सम्पीड्य गुल्फाभ्यां जान्वङ्गे सवलयाकृतिः हस्तौ पादतले क्षिप्तौ मण्डूकं पाददोषहृत्. The next asana is Narasimhasana, the man-lion pose, which comes from the Yoga Pradipika of Jayatarama. This asana activates the throat chakra, enhancing breath control and strengthening your core stability. So for this asana, you're going to be coming onto your toes and keep your palms on the ground in front of you. Stick your tongue out, exhaling forcefully. Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, gazing towards your nose as you visualize yourself as Narasimha, fierce and protective, the incarnation of Mahavishnu in Narasimhasana. The Upana Pani Hoya Vese Sharira Nik Edi Melira Gudani Vese Sumashariri Nika Taharave Nasa Agra Drishtiko Lyabe. Now come up. The next asana is the Bhishtakasana, the cause of fear pose. From the Yoga Pradipika of Jaitarama. This asana enhances your breath control, promoting pranayama practice and strengthening the respiratory muscles. Here you're going to come onto your toes, balance that, straight, bring your knees to the ground. Now here bring your thumbs to the inner part of your teeth. Inhale. Inhale through your mouth, exhaling through your right nostril as you do the Bhishraka Kumbhaka. The Mula Bandha, clenching your perineum. Do the gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as Devi presiding over any and all of your fears in Bhishtakasana. The Upaganki Edi Joyi Goda Phanavam Ho Puni Hove Goda Janga Kari Rakhe Adeva Isi Vididakhe. Next asana is Makadasana, the monkey pose. This asana comes from the Yoga Pradipika of the Jaitarama. Helps to promote a playful movement and enhance your shoulder mobility, strengthening the postural muscles. So now coming back onto your toes with the knees on the ground, bring your hands towards your armpit, imitate a scratching motion. As you do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, gaze towards your third eye with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as a playful monkey in Makadasana. Do Paganki Edi Joy Goda Panovam Hopuni Hove Goda Janga Adhar Kari Rakhe Ade Vah Isi Vididakhe. And release. The next asana is Vajra Sangharasana, the threshold of indestructibility. This asana comes from the Yoga Pradipika of Jaitarama and intensifies your hip opening, enhancing your balance coordination, strengthening your core stability. So come on to your toes now. Clasp your hands behind your back, holding on to the opposite elbows as you do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Gaze towards your nose, visualize yourself embodying a diamond-like strength in Vajra Sangharasana. दो पगथली संपुट आने ताकि पिष्टि भूमि परिठाने मूल द्वार एड्याम परिल्यावे मूढ़ हाथ ऊंचा ठहरावे प्रथम पनापानि होय बेसे दो एडी गुदा निवेसे गोड़ा उभे राखे तीर आड़े वाय पसारे धीर. The next asana is Khanjanasana, the wagtail pose. This comes from the Rudrayamala Tantra. Helps to open your hips deeply, enhancing ankle flexibility, promoting a grounding stability. In Khanjanasana, you're going to be sitting with your feet tucked behind you and crossed ankles. Sit upon your crossed ankles. Bring your hands to the ground in front of your knees. Gaze towards your nose, suck your stomach in and up in the Uddiyana Bandha. Continue the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself in perfect health in Khanjanasana. Khanjanasana-mavakshe yatkritva susthiro bhavet prishte padadvayam badhva hastau bhumau pradharayet. The next asana is Kurmasana, the turtle pose. So keep your feet crossed behind you, sitting on top, which this asana comes from the Gheranda Samhita. Deepens your hip flexibility, enhancing your spinal alignment and promoting a grounding connection. Now sit on your feet with your hands on your knees. Gaze towards your nose. Do the Mula Bandha, the Ujjayi Kumbhaka and the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as a turtle in Kurmasana. गुल्भौ च वृषणस्याधो व्युत्क्रमेण समाहितौ ऋजुकाय शिरो ग्रीवं कूर्मासनमितीर्तमा. Now continue to remain in the same position. The next is Yogasana, the divinely united pose, coming from the Trishikhi Brahmana Upanishad. Helps to intensify your hip opening, promoting a grounding stability and increase the spinal alignment. Keep your entire body in the same position. Gaze towards your nose. With the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, just switch your visualization to yourself in oneness with Swamiji himself, in oneness with the divine, in Yogasana. Gudam niyamya gulphabhyam vyutkrameణ samahitah yogasanam bhavedetat iti yoga vido viduhu. The next asana is Viyogasana, the disconnected pose. From the Yoga Pradipika of Jayatarama. It helps to enhance your hip flexibility, strengthen core stability, promote chest opening, and support breath control. Now in this asana, you're going to raise up onto your toes, cross your ankles behind you, lean back, bringing your hands towards the shins of the legs. Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, gazing towards your third eye. Visualize a space of Advaita, oneness in your inner space. In Viyogasana. गोड़ा वाम नौ उभा होई येड़ा आड़ा राखे दोई दचपाद की पानी रहावे फणव वाम गोड़ा धिगिल्यावे. The next asana is Ushtrasana Dve, camel pose 2. This asana comes from Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya. Helps to intensify chest opening, enhancing spinal extension. Now you're going to come onto your knees, lean backwards and hold on to your ankles, doing the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, Japa, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a camel in Ushtrasana 2. मेरुदण्डग्रन्थि धार्य समीपाद्य शुष्पमान् कपोटोष्ट्रासनाभ्यासं कुर्यान्वितहिताशनः. The next asana is Jatyasana 2, ascetic pose 2, from the Yoga Pradipika of Jayatarama, which helps to deeply open your chest and enhance spinal flexibility and help to open your heart. Now you're going to be sitting in between your feet, holding on to your feet, bring your elbows to the ground, bringing the top of your head towards the ground. Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha. Gaze towards your navel with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as a lotus in full bloom in Jatyasana. दो एड़ी संपुट करे सोले मूल द्वारि तर धेरे फणाम पानी उकड़ होय बेसे बहुरो पिष्टि धीरी कर जो ऐसे. The next asana is Viratasana, the magnificent hero pose. This comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hatha Abhyasa Paddhati. Helps to build a dynamic core strength and enhance your spinal mobility, supporting functional movement and developing a rhythmic mental coordination. Now keep your hands there and you're going to be laying down and getting up continuously as you do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, clenching your perineum in the Mula Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you visualize the healing and liberation of all subtle and causal forms of your body in Viratasana. जंघ पृथि भूमौ निधाय जंघोदारयोः उर्णि संस्थाप्य पृष्ठिवंशं वारं वारं स्पृशेत् विरटासनं भवति. The next asana is Kapotasana, which is the pigeon pose. This asana comes from the Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya. Helps to intensify chest opening, enhancing spinal flexibility and promoting your heart expansion. So in this asana, you're going to be raising, getting a spinal extension, trying to bring your hands to your feet and your elbows onto the ground. In this asana, Visualize yourself as a beautiful pigeon. Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Kapotasana. मेरुदण्डग्रन्थिधार्य समीपाड्य शुष्पुमान् कपोटोष्ट्रासनाभ्यासं कुर्यान्मितहिताशनः. Slowly relax. The next asana is Varasana, the boon fulfilling pose from Kapala Kurantaka's Hatha Abhyasa Paddhati. This asana helps to promote a chest opening, enhancing postural alignment and strengthening your core stability. Now raise onto your knees, holding on to the opposite elbows. Keep straight. Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you visualize yourself receiving all the boons from Paramashiva in Varasana. Januni bhumau samsthapya hastabhyam bahu parasparam dhritva saralam tishthet varasanam bhavati. The next asana is Varaha Asana 2, the boar pose 2. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hatha Abhyasa Paddhati. Enhances your spinal flexibility, promoting a forward folding motion. Now you're going to lean forward on with your legs kneeling. Bring your hands beside your head, forehead to the ground, toes tucked. Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as the boar, the incarnation of Mahavishnu in Varahasana 2. सूर्यं चन्द्रं भेदनान्यासनानि कथ्यन्ते कूर्परौ भूमौ स्थापयित्वा जानुभ्याम् अवनिमवष्टभ्यस्तौ मस्तके संस्थाप्य. Next asana is Mundasana. The downward head pose. This asana comes from the Rudra Yamala Tantra. Helps to promote an inverted circulation and strengthen your core stability. So now you're going to come to a headstand position. Clasp your hands together in the Parashamudra. Bring your elbows to the ground. Bring your head into your hands and lift your legs straight up. Doing the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, gaze towards your nose with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a lopped tree, stable and resilient in Mundasana. अधो मुण्डासनं वक्ष्ये सर्वेषां प्राणिनां सुखम् ऊर्ध्वमार्गे पदे दत्त्वा धारयेन्मारुतं सिद्धिः. Relax. The next asana is Andhasana, the darkness pose. This asana comes from the Yoga Pradipika of Jayatarama. It helps to deepen your forward folding, enhancing spiritual flexibility and promoting a nervous system calming. So you're going to be bending onto your knees, sitting on your heels, lean forward and down, using your hands to cover your ears, doing the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, gaze towards your nose with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself entering the profound darkness in Andhasana. प्रथम पगथली समटहरावे कोरमाहिली उभे मिलावे पना पाने उकड़ कर बैसे दोवु एड़ी गुदा निवेसे. Slowly raise up. The next asana is a Viparita Shalabhasana. This asana comes from Natha Muni's Yoga Rahasya. This asana comes from Natha Muni's Yoga Rahasya, and it helps to strengthen your back extension, enhancing spinal coordination and promoting core stability. So now you're going to come onto your stomach, lay on your stomach with your arms stretched out wide. Inhale, lift your chest and legs and arms fully off the ground. Gaze downwards as you Do the Ujjayi Kumbhaka. Slightly contract the throat, draw the breath slowly in through the nostrils, producing the sound of the ocean. Retain the breath within and then release the breath slowly through the nostrils, preserving the same sound. Do the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you clench your perineum in Mula Bandha. Visualize yourself as a locust, agile and resilient, leaping and adapting across diverse terrains in Viparita Shalabhasana. शलभासनभेदाश्च नतभेरुण्डनामके गण्डभेरुण्डसहिते शीर्षदण्डासनं तथा. Next asana is Kapalasana, the skull pose. So now keep your hands extended behind. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hatabhyasa Paddhati. In this asana, it helps to intensify your back strength, enhance your hip flexibility, and promote a spinal extension. Here, you're going to keep your hands beside your hips with your forehead on the ground, lifting your feet high off the ground. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a skull in Kapalasana. कपालं भूमौ निधाय ऊर्ध्वं पादौ नयेत् कपालासनं भवति. Relax. The next asana is Akasha Kapotasana, the primordial freedom pose. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hatabhyasa Paddhati. Enhances extreme spinal flexibility and promotes an advanced back bending, strengthening your core stability, developing an advanced focus. This asana is where you're going to lay on your stomach with your hands extended behind, underneath your hips, palms facing down, kicking your legs off the ground. Bring your legs over your head. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha. With the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualize yourself as a free and open dove flying in Akasha Kapotasana. उष्ट्रासने स्थित्वा चरणौ भूमौ नुत्थाप्य मस्तकोपरि नीत्वा पृष्ठप्रदेशेन भूमौ स्थापयेत् आकाशकपोटं भवति. And relax. And the next asana of the sequence is Chatakasana, the sparrow pose. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hatabhyasa Paddhati. Helps to promote a forward folding, enhancing spinal flexibility and supports nervous system pathways. Now sit on your knees, keep your forearms on the ground. Doing the Sahaja Kumbhaka, clenching your perineum in the Mula Bandha with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a sparrow in Chatakasana. Kurpara uparyanto hasto dharam avashtabhya januninaabho sankuchati sthetam Chatakasanam bhavati. Now from here, we are entering into Vrishchikasana Dve, the scorpion pose 2. This asana is from the Hatha Sanketa Chandrika. Helps to intensify spinal connection, enhancing extreme flexibility and promotes advanced back bending. In this asana, you're going to be bringing your forearms to the ground, kicking your legs off, bringing your legs towards your head. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as a scorpion in Vrishchikasana Dve. वृश्चिव पुच्छ प्रतिमांग्रिपार्ष्णि धृत्वा शशीर्षे चुबुकं विधार्यकौ. And relax as we enter into the next asana. which is Vrishasana, the bull pose. So here you're going to be, this asana comes from the Gheranda Samhita, helps to open your hips asymmetrically, enhancing the spinal flexibility and promoting breath awareness. So now you're going to be sitting on your right heel, keeping your left foot outside the left hip, ankle to the side. Place your hands on the mat beside your knees. Here we're going to be doing the Antarangaka Kumbhaka, which means you're going to draw your breath in fully and strongly, hold it lightly, and then exhale and inhale in one smooth, subtle cycle, finding the gentle wave of energy inside. Place your hands beside your knees, clench your perineum in the Mula Bandha, do the japa, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a bull in Vrishasana. Yamya gulphe padamule vamabhage padetaram viparitam sprished bhumim Vrishasanamidam bhavet. Next is Lolasanam, the swinging pose. So come with your both knees in the center and you're going to be lifting off the ground. Here this asana comes from the Rudra Yamala Tantra. Strengthens your core, enhancing balance, coordination and promoting hip mobility. You're going to bring your hands to the ground, lift yourself off the ground. Continue the Chantarangaka Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a swing in Lolasana. Lolasanam sada kuryad vayulolapaghatanaat sthiravayuprasadena sthiracheta bhavedrutam. The next asana is Vrishasana on the other side. The bull pose repeated from the Gheranda Samhita. Enhancing your asymmetrical hip opening. Now sit on your left foot. Bring your right foot outside of the hip. Hands on the mat. Gaze forward with the Mula Bandha and the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualizing yourself as a bull in Vrishasana. Yamyagulpe padamule vamabhage padetaram viparitam sprished bhumim Vrishasanamidam bhavet. The next asana is Balagunasana, the child power pose. This asana comes from the Yoga Asana Manasa Chitra and promotes hip flexibility, enhancing postural stability and strengthens your core alignment. Now in this asana, you're going to be sitting on top of your left heel, bringing your right leg up, knee pointed upwards, hands on top of the respective knees. Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Balagunasana. Asana Kauguna. Asana Kauguna. Asana Kauguna Jalabikara Jayi. Now raise up onto your feet as we enter into Grahasana, the planet pose. So you're going to be onto, this asana comes from the Kapala Parantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati and deepens your hip opening, strengthening your core stability, enhancing your balance coordination. So now on your feet, you're going to be wrapping your hands in and around the ankles, holding on to the ankles with your hands. Do the Chantarangaka Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as the entire planet Earth in Grahasana. पादतले भूमौ संस्थाप्य जानुमध्ये कूर्परौ स्थाप्य हस्ताभ्यां गुल्फप्रदेशो धृत्वा तिष्ठेत् ग्रहासनं भवति. And repeating the Balagunasana on the other side now. So sitting onto your right heel with the knee on the ground, bring your left foot up, hands on the respective knees. This asana comes from the Yoga Asana Mala Sachitra. Helps to promote asymmetrical hip opening and enhance postural stability. Do the Mula Bandha, the Antarangaka Kumbhaka, the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as the great Siddha Balagunahai. आसन को गुण जल विकार जाई. Next asana is Utkatasana, the chair pose. This asana comes from the Gheranda Samhita. Helps to build balance and calm and improve your ankle stability. So now you're going to come onto your toes with your knees pointed forward. And keep your hands in front of your heart center in the Namaskara Mudra. As you do the Antaranga Kumbhaka, suck your stomach in and up in the Uddiyana Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself in a chair pose in Utkatasana. Yujasthijosthi yata urdhvajanu yatrasane padattaladvayo pari. Next asana is Vajra Sangharasana 2. The indestructible community pose. This asana comes from the Yoga Pradipika of Jayatarama and intensifies your hip opening, enhancing balance, coordination, strengthening your core stability. So come on to your toes, knees spread wide apart. Hold your hands behind your back, holding on to the opposite elbows. Do the Antaranga Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as a part of an indestructible Hindu community in Vajra Sangharasana 2. प्रथम फणा पानी होय जैसे दो एड़ी गुदानी वैसे. The next asana is Anilasana, the wind pose. This asana comes from the Yoga Pradipika of Jayatarama. Helps to strengthen your wrists, enhancing balance, coordination, and promotes hip flexibility. So now come onto your feet, bring your palms flat on the ground, stepping your feet on top and your elbows at your navel center. Keep your spine straight, do the Antaranga Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha, gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself living off of air alone in Anilasana. दऊ हाथ भूमि परिठाने कहूनी जाड़ी नाभिलाग आने. The next asana is Padukasana, the sage of sandals pose. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati. Helps to build functional strength and enhance coordination. Now, bring your hands underneath your feet and start to walk back and forth on your mat, doing the Antaranga Kumbhaka Mula Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself wearing padukas and walking across India. Keep your entire foot stepped upon your palm. Padukasana. हस्ततलयोः पादतले कृत्वा तिष्ठेत् गच्छेत् पादुकासनं भवति. The next asana is Kukkutodana. This is the rooster rising pose from Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati. Helps to develop a dynamic upper body strength, coordination, enhance balance stability, and promote breath control. In this asana, you're going to bring your hands to the ground, kicking your legs up towards the sky, doing the Antaranga Kumbhaka Mula Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as a rooster in Kukkutoddanam. हस्ततले भूमौ कृत्वा पादतले च ऊर्ध्वमुड्डानं कृत्वा भूमौ पोठेत् कुक्कुटोद्दानं भवति. The next asana is the Viparita Nrityasana, the inverted dance pose. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati. Strengthens your arms, enhancing advanced balance, coordination, and promoting core stability. So in this asana, you're going to come to a handstand position. In this asana, you're going to come onto a handstand position and dance in an inverted shape, doing the Sahaja Kumbhaka, Moola Bandha and the Japa, Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself free, unbound and expansive in Viparita Nrityasana. Hastatalaabhyam bhumim avashtabhya urdhva padagre kurvan.
नित्यानन्दाय नमः गुरुवे चरणं नित्यगुरुवे चरणं 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 सप्तगिरीश्वरा नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द श्रीवेङ्कटेश्वरा नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द अरुणगिरीश्वरा नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द अरुणाचलेश्वरा नित्यानन्द नित्यानन्द.
The next asana is Kunjarasana, the elephant pose. Here, we're going to be coming to a standing. This asana comes from the Rudra Yamala Tantra. It builds lateral strength and enhances your spinal flexibility. So you're going to come to a standing position, bending forward and down, bringing your right hand towards the right ear. In this asana, do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Moola Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as an elephant drinking water in Kunjarasana. अथवा क्षेमहादेव कुञ्जारासनमुत्तमं करेण एकेन पादाभ्यां भूमौ तिष्ठेत् शिरः करः. The next asana is Kunjarasana on the other side, the elephant pose on the other side from the Rudra Yamala Tantra, enhancing the lateral spinal extension. So now bring your right hand down, bring your left hand towards your left ear. As you do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Moola Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualize yourself as an elephant drinking water in Kunjarasana. अथवा क्षेमहादेव कुञ्जारासनमुत्तमं करेण एकेन पादाभ्यां भूमौ तिष्ठेत् शिरः करः. Relax your hands. The next asana is Kadambasana, the fragrant auspicious tree pose. From Kapala Kurantaka's Hatabhyasa Paddhati. This asana strengthens your core, enhances balance, coordination and promotes spinal stability. Here come onto your feet and clasp your hands around your ankles. Raise up onto your toes. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Moola Bandha with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as the sacred Kadamba tree in Kadambasana. पार्ष्णिभ्यां भूमिम् अवष्टभ्य हस्तद्वयेन गुल्फौ धृत्वा तिष्ठेत् कदम्बं भवति. The next asana is Pavana Muktasana. Come to a seated position. This asana is from the Yogasana Mala Sachitra, which deepens your hip opening and enhances spinal flexibility, promoting breath awareness, supporting a grounding connection. So keep your knees up, hold on to your opposite elbows, clasping around your knees. Pull your knees towards your body to the Sahaja Kumbhaka Moola Bandha with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize all excess vata, all the excess air in the body is releasing in Pavana Muktasana. द्वयोस्तु पादयोः पाणिं लात्वा स्वस्थनितम्बके जानुनी वक्षसि साधुर्भभ्रातिकरबन्धनैः. The next asana is Chakorasana, the partridge pose. This asana comes from Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya. It helps to combine extreme hip flexibility with core strength, enhancing your balance. So now you're going to sit with your right leg lifted above your head with the left leg extended forward. With your hands on the ground, lifting off the ground. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, gaze towards your third eye with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as a partridge in Chakorasana. पूर्वतानं चतुष्पादपीठं वज्रासनं तथा चकोरक्रौञ्चशलभा भुजङ्गमपि वृश्चिकम्. Relax. Next asana is Dhanurasana 2. Dhanurasana 2, bow pose 2. You're going to be, this asana comes from the Trishikhi Brahmana Upanishad. It intensifies hip opening, enhancing your spinal flexibility and strengthens your core stability. So what you're going to do is holding on to the right toes, you're going to pull it towards your right ear, extending the left leg and holding the big toe with the left hand. In the Prana Mudra, do the Sahaja Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as Paramashiva's bow in Dhanurasana 2. पादाङ्गुष्ठौ तु पाणिभ्यां गृहीत्वा श्रवणावधि धनुराकर्षका कृत्स्नं धनुरासनमीलितम्. The next asana is Ashtavakrasana, which helps to combine which is from Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya, and helps to combine advanced hip flexibility with balance coordination. So what you're going to do is lift your right leg over the right shoulder, crossing the left foot on top. Lean forward, extending your legs to the side, balancing on your hands. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you visualize yourself as Sage Ashtavakra in Ashtavakrasana. वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यं मूढकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्थानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम्. And relax. The next asana is Pranasana, the life pose. This asana comes from the Rudra Yamala Tantra and combines advanced hip flexibility with spinal rotation. Here you're going to bring your right foot, the left foot onto the right thigh and the right shoulder underneath the right leg. Place your hands on your left hand on the left knee. Gaze towards your third eye. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha. The japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as immortal, maintained entirely by prana in Pranasana. एकपादम् उरौ बद्ध्वा स्कन्धेऽन्यत्पादरक्षणम् एतत् प्राणासनं नाम सर्वसिद्धिप्रदायकम्. From here, entering into Parshvamatsendrasana, the side Lord of Fishes pose. This asana comes from the Hataratnavali by Srinivasa Bhatta, enhancing the spinal rotation and hip flexibility. So now, keep your left foot at the root of the right thigh. You keep the left foot outside of the right hip and cross the right leg on the top of the left knee. Now, turn towards the side and bring your left hand into the gap between the thighs and hold it behind with your right hand. In the Parshvamatsendrasana, gaze towards your third eye, do the Mula Bandha with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing the great sage Matsyendranatha in Parshvamatsendrasana. मत्स्येन्द्रपीठं जठरं प्रदीप्तिं प्रचण्डरुक्मण्डलखण्डनास्त्रम् अभ्यासतः कुण्डलिनी प्रबोधं दण्डस्थिरत्वं हि ददाति पुंसां पार्श्वाभ्यां ध्रियते यस्तो पार्श्वमत्स्येन्द्रासनम्. And relax. Now we're going to be repeating the Chakorasana on the other side, the partridge pose. This asana is from Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya. It helps to combine extreme hip flexibility with core strength. Now bring your left leg on the top of your neck, stretch your right leg forward, place your palms on the ground, pushing your body off the ground, clench your perineum in the Mula Bandha, gaze towards your third eye with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham as you visualize yourself as a powerful source of energy, a partridge in Chakorasana. पूर्वतानां चतुष्पादपीठं वज्रासनं तथा चकोरक्रौञ्चशलभा भुजङ्गमपि वृश्चिकम्. Relax, entering into Dhanurasana 2, the bow pose 2 repeated on the other side from the Trishikhi Brahmana Upanishad, intensifying your hip opening and enhancing your spinal flexibility. So now hold your left toes, pulling your leg towards the left ear, holding on to the extended right leg with the right hand. Do the Mula Bandha, the Sahaja Kumbhaka, and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as Paramashiva's bow in Dhanurasana Dve. पादाङ्गुष्ठौ तु पाणिभ्यां गृहीत्वा श्रवणावधि धनुराकर्षकाकृत्स्नं धनुरासनमीरितम्. The next asana is Ashtavakrasana, the 8-angle pose repeated. So this is from Nathamuni's Yoga Rahasya. Helps to combine advanced hip flexibility with balance coordination. This time bringing your left leg on the top of your left shoulder. Cross your right leg on top and lift off the ground, extending your legs to the side with the Sahaja Kumbhaka. Mula Bandha Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as Sage Ashtavakra in Ashtavakrasana. वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यम् ऊर्ध्वकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्थानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम्. The next asana is Pranasana, the life energy pose repeated on the other side from the Rudra Yamala Tantra. This asana integrates advanced hip flexibility with spinal rotation, enhancing your balance coordination. Now bring your bring your right foot on top of the left thigh, your left shoulder underneath the left knee, palm on the ground, your right hand on the right knee. Do the Sahaja Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, gaze towards your third eye with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as immortal, maintained entirely by prana in Pranasana. एकपादम् उरौ बद्ध्वा स्कन्धेऽन्यत्पादरक्षणं प्राणासनम् अथो नाम सर्वसिद्धिप्रदायकम्. And entering into Parshamatsendrasana, allow the right foot to come outside the left hip and the left leg over the right knee. This asana comes from the Hataratnavali by Srinivasa Bhatta. Helps to enhance spinal rotation and hip flexibility, strengthening your core mobility. So now bring your right hand outside of the left knee and push the hand into the gap while holding it from behind with the left hand. Do the Mula Bandha, gazing towards your third eye with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing the great sage Matsyendranatha in Parshamatsendrasana. मत्स्येन्द्रपीठं जठरप्रदीप्तिं प्रचण्डरुक्मण्डलखण्डनास्त्रम् अभ्यासतः कुण्डलिनी प्रबोधं दण्डस्थिरत्वं हि ददाति पुंसां पार्श्वाभ्यां ध्रियते यस्तु पार्श्वमत्स्येन्द्रमुत्तमम्. And relax. Next asana is Ardha Paschimottanasana, the half bent pose from Kapala Kurantaka's Hatha-abhyasa Paddhati, which deepens the hamstring flexibility and spinal forward folding, enhancing your hip mobility. So you're going to stretch your left leg forward with your right leg in towards the inner part of the hip, knee on the ground. Stretch forward, reaching for the extended leg, bringing your forehead to the knee. Clench your perineum, suck in your stomach, bring your chin to the chest in the Mahamudra Bandha. Do the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, doing the Jivachala Kumbhaka. Visualize yourself lengthening into the half Paschimottanasana stretch, spine extended like a flowing river in Ardha Paschimottanasana. एकं पादं प्रसार्य एकं पादस्य पार्ष्णिना सीवनि सम्पीड्य हस्तेन पादाग्रं गृहीत्वा मस्तकं जानु स्थापयेत् अर्धपश्चिमतानं भवति. Next asana is Kraunchasana, the heron pose. From Nath Muni's Yoga Rahasya. This intensifies your hamstring flexibility and hip opening, enhancing spinal mobility. So bring your right leg outside of the right hip. Lift your left leg up straight using your hands. Do the Jivachala Kumbhaka Mula Bandha Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a crane in Kraunchasana. उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गष्ठप्रसारणे. And now let's repeat the Ardha Paschimottanasana on the other side. This asana is from Kapalakurantaka's Hatha Abhyasa Paddhati. It combines your hip opening with a spinal forward folding, enhancing flexibility. So bring your left foot in towards the right thigh, lean forward and down, forehead down. Do the Jivachala Kumbhaka, clench your perineum, suck in your stomach, bring your chin to the chest in the Mahamudra Bandha. With the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualize yourself lengthening into half Paschimottanasana in Ardha Paschimottanasana. Ekam padam prasarya ekam padasya pashnina sivani sampilagya hastena padagraghrihitva mastakam januni sthapayet Ardha Paschimottanam bhavati. Next asana is Kraunchasana, the heron pose. This asana comes from the Natha Muni's Yoga Rahasya. It helps to enhance your hamstring flexibility and hip opening, promoting a spinal mobility. So bring your left leg outside the left hip. Raise the right leg straight up as you do the Jivachala Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a crane, a heron in Kraunchasana. उत्तानपादं क्रौञ्चं च मरीचिं वीरभद्रकं नटराजं त्रिकोणं च सुप्ताङ्गष्ठप्रसारणे. And relax into Swastikasana, the auspicious pose. This asana comes from the Shandilya Upanishad. Deepens your hip opening, enhancing your ankle flexibility and promoting spinal alignment. So come to a seated position with your both feet tucked into the opposite thigh, between the opposite thigh and calf. Keep your hands on the knees. Do the Jivachala Kumbhaka Mula Bandha and gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself radiating peace, prosperity and well-being. Visualize a swastika in Swastikasana. जानूर्वोरन्तरे सम्यक् कृत्वा पादतले उभे ऋजुकाय समासीनः स्वस्तिकं तत्प्रचक्षते. The next asana is Ghorakshasana, the cowherd pose from the Gheranda Samhita. This helps to intensify your hip opening with throat compression, enhancing breath control and supporting nervous system calming. So what you're going to do is you're going to be bringing both your hands, covering your feet, and tuck your chin in towards your chest in the Jalandhara Bandha, clench your perineum, gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as the great sage Ghoraknatha in Ghorakshasana. जानूर्वोरन्तरे पादौ उत्तानौ व्यक्तसंस्थितौ गुल्फौ च आच्छाद्यहस्ताभ्याम् उत्तानाभ्यां प्रयत्नतः. And relax. The next asana is Bhagasana 2, the womb seat pose from the Yoga Asana Manasa Chitra. Promoting sensory withdrawal and enhance meditative focus, supporting pranayama practice. So now sit with your left heel pressed lightly against the perineum and the right foot on top of the left thigh. Bring your hands into the Shanmukhi Mudra with the index finger below the chin, the little finger below the lower lip, the middle index finger, ring finger above the upper lip. Jivachala Kumbhaka Mula Bandha, gaze towards your third eye with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing the radiant space of creation in Bhagasana 2. वामपावश्नौ गुणं स्थाप्य दक्षाङ्घ्रिं वामजघने यथा पूर्वं समायुक्तः भगासनमिदं मतम्. And relax. entering into Yogasana Dve, Yoga pose 2 from the Gheranda Samhita, helping to open your hips deeply and promoting a meditative posture, enhancing the spinal alignment. Bring your feet onto the opposite thighs in Padmasana. Keep your palms facing upwards on the ground beside your knees. Do the Kakachanchu Kumbhaka. Inhaling through your tongue and exhaling through your nose. Doing the Mula Bandha, gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself dissolving into your Guru in Yogasana 2. उत्तान उच्चरणौ कृत्वा संस्थाप्योपरि जानुनोः आसनोपरि संस्थाप्य चोत्तानं करयुग्मकम्. The next asana is Urdhva Kukkutasana, the upward rooster pose. From Natha Muni's Yoga Rahasya, helps to strengthen your arms and core muscles, enhancing balance, coordination, and promotes breath awareness. Bring your hands to the ground beside your hips, lifting your entire body off the ground. Do the Kakachanchu Kumbhaka Mula Bandha Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a rooster in Urdhva Kukkutasana. वासिष्ठमथ कौण्डिन्यं मोढकुक्कुटमेव च अष्टावक्रमथोत्तानं मयूरं सेतुबन्धनम्. And relax into Siddharatali Asana, the perfect necklace pose. Bring your hands, this asana comes from the Yoga Pradipika of Jayatarama. Deepens your hip opening, enhancing spinal flexibility, promotes a grounding connection. So now bring your hands in between the gaps between your thighs, in between your legs, and keep your palms on the ground resting flat. Continue the Kakachanchu Kumbhaka. Mula Bandha, gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself adorned with a celestial garland of light in Siddharatali Asana. प्रथमं पद्मा आसनको करे हस्तदो गोड़ा sandhidhere. Next asana is Hamsasana, the swan pose. Bring both your hands into the gap between your thighs and shin. This asana comes from Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati. It builds core strength, enhances balance coordination, and strengthens your arms and your hips. So bring your hands in between this gap, trying to bring it above your elbows. Rock forward, balancing on your hand as you clench your perineum and the Mola Bandha. Do the Kakachanchu Kumbhaka. Gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a swan in Hamsasana. कुक्कुटासन स्थित्वा स्कन्धं पर्यन्तम् उरुणित्वा तिष्ठेत् हंसासनं भवति. The next asana is Karmukasana, the bow pose. This comes from the Yoga Pradipika of Jayatarama, combining hip opening with spinal forward folding, enhancing flexibility and breath awareness. Now sit in the Padmasana position and lean your torso forward, bringing your arms behind your back, holding on to the opposite toes from behind your back. Do the Kakachanchu Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as Paramashiva's bow in Karmukasana. प्रथम पद्मा आसन को करे गोड़ा संधि माही करे धेरे हाथ पाचाने लो जोरे नासा अग्र दृष्टि तिर करे. And relax, entering into Karmukasana Dve, the turtle pose. This asana comes from the Yoga Manjari and intensifies hip opening with arm binding, enhancing spinal alignment. Now sit in Padmasana and slide your arms between your thighs and torso, wrapping your hands so that they rest on opposite shoulders. Lift your spine tall, keeping your chest broad, and breathe evenly. This is Kurmasana 2, the turtle pose 2. So now insert your hands through your thighs and calves and bring your hands towards your shoulders. Visualize yourself as a tortoise. Do the Mahamudra, bring your chin to the chest in the Jalandhara Bandha. Continue with the Kakachancha Kumbhaka with the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a turtle in Kurmasana. Pahalya Amshraghale Hatha Kurma Asana Yeh Kahave. The next asana is Granthi Bhedasana, the knot breaking pose. This is from the Rudra Yamala Tantra. Deepens your hip flexibility with the throat compression, enhancing your breath control. Continue to remain in the same position, hands holding the neck. Do the Kakachancha Kumbhaka, do the Jalandhara Bandha, chin tucked into the chest. Gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself rejoicing in Paramashiva's secret knot posture in Granthi Bhedasana. Kritva Padmasanam Mantri Janghayo Hridaye Karo. The next asana is Uttana Kurmasana, the upward turtle pose. So now you're going to lay on, this is from the Gheranda Samhita. Combining advanced hip opening with spinal extension, enhancing breath awareness, supporting heart opening and cultivating a confident mental presence. So lay on your back, bringing your hands around your neck. Do the Kakachancha Kumbhaka Mola Bandha. Gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as an upward facing turtle in Uttana Kurmasana. Kukkuta Asana Bandhastam Karabhyam Dhita Kantaram. Pitham Kurmavaduttanam Etaduttana Kurmakam. Next asana, you can come back up to a seated position. The next asana is Pangu Kukkutasana, the lame rooster pose. This is from Kapala Kurantaka's Hathabhyasa Paddhati. Helps to intensify your core strength and hip opening, enhancing balance coordination. Now, bring your hands in between your legs. Hold on to your left wrist with your right hand and lift onto your left hand. Continuing the Kakachancha Kumbhaka Mula Bandha Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a rooster in Pangu Kukkutasana. Kukkutasana sthitva ekena hastena anyasya manibandham dhritva. And we're going to repeat the Pangu Kukkutasana, the lame rooster pose on the other side, which you're going to now hold on to your right wrist with the left hand, lift onto your hand, balancing above the ground to the Kakachancha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself as a rooster with a lame leg in Pangu Kukkutasana on the other side. Kukkutasana sthitva ekena hastena anyasya manibandham dhritva bhumavashtabhya utthapya tishthet Pangu Kukkutam bhavati. Next asana is Giridhrasana, the vulture pose from the Matsyendra Samhita. This asana supports combining hip opening with throat compression, enhancing breath control. Bring your feet, elbows onto the respective feet in Padmasana. Clasp your hands together in the Parashamudra, bringing your chin onto the clasp palms with the Kakachancha Kumbhaka, Mula Bandha and the Japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualizing yourself as a vulture in Giridhrasana. जानूर्वोरन्तरे पादा उत्तानौ व्यक्तसंस्थितौ गुल्फी छात्साभ्यहस्ताभ्याम् उत्तानाभ्यां प्रयत्नतः. And relax. The next asana is Padmasana Trini, lotus pose 3. Sit with your feet in Padmasana. This comes from Hatagattva Kaumudi by Sundaradeva and helps to open your hips deeply, promoting a meditative posture, enhancing spinal alignment. So keep your feet on the opposite thighs. Bring your hands one on top of the other in the Shambhavi Mudra. Keep it in front of your navel. Do the Kakachancha Kumbhaka. Clench your perineum, suck in your stomach, bring your chin to the chest in the Mahamudra Bandha. Gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Padmasana Trini. Visualize yourself embodying the sacred lotus. उत्तान उचरणो विधाय विधिवत् शक्तिस्थितौ योगीराट् नासाग्रे दृशमाविधाय विधिवद्रे च पूरितः समम्. Next is Padmasana Chatwari, Lotus Pose 4 from the Rudra Yamala Tantra. Maintains the hip flexibility, enhancing postural stability and promoting spinal alignment. Now bring your hands onto your, do the Padmasana position, hands resting on the knees. Do the Kaka Chancha Kumbhaka, clenching your perineum in the Mula Bandha. Gaze towards your nose with the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. Visualize yourself in Padmasana, the lotus throne of yogic power, in Padmasana 4. Urumule Vamapadam Punastadakshinam Padam Vamo Paristhapayitva cha Padmasanamiti Smritam. Next asana is Karmukasana Dve, Bow Pose 2 from the Rudra Yamala Tantra. This intensifies hip opening with arm binding, enhancing spinal flexibility. So in Padmasana, now bring your right hand, the index finger and middle finger of the right hand in the Prana Mudra around the big toe of the left foot and pull the toe backwards, rotating it in all the directions while you place your left hand on the left knee. Do the Mula Bandha and the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham, visualizing yourself as Paramashiva's bow in Karmukasana Dve. हस्तमेकं तु जङ्घया कार्मुकं कूर्परोर्धकं पद्मासने समाधाय अङ्गुष्ठं परिधावयेत्. And now we're going to be resting into the Shivasana. So come to a laying down position with your legs extended forward. Visualize your body is dead. Paramashiva has liberated you. As you do the japa Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham in Shivasana. Atha Shavasanam Uttanam Shavavadbhumau Shayanam Shavasanam Shavasanam Shrantiharam Chitta
Let you all open all
Vishrantikaratam.
your three eyes.
Om Nithyananda Paramashivoham. 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 Ananda Paramashivoham. Om Nithyananda 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 Paramashivoham. Om परमशिवोऽहम् ॐ नित्यानन्द 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 परमशिवोऽहम्
Now slowly move your hands and feet. Feel the light entering your body. Bring your knees to the
नित्यानन्द
chest and rock from side to side.
परमशिवोऽहम्
Come up to a seated position.
ॐ नित्यानन्द
Congratulations to each and every one of you
परमशिवोऽहम्
for completing today's Nithyananda Yoga successfully. All of you did an amazing job and had wonderful breakthroughs. If you enjoyed today's yoga, give the video a like, share it with those in your life you know need some yoga too. Subscribe so that you don't miss any other happenings. And also, if you want to know more about Kailasa or you want to have specific yoga training physically through the Paramashiva Sena program, you can scan the QR code on screen and sign up there. And with that, let us now offer our gratitude at Swamiji's feet for giving us this amazing science of Nithyananda Yoga for us to start our day in the most best way possible. And let us end with the Purna Mantra. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavasishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Sarvam Bhagavat Shri Nityananda Paramashiva Padukarpanamastu Om Nityanandam. Thank you all, Nithyanandam, and see you for tomorrow's yoga.